This is the moment in which Puccini's genius shines the most. Looks quite simple, doesn't it? Yet it creates one of the most powerful moments of the entire opera. But everything starts from the desire to create masterpieces that could rival Verdi's ones. Indeed, Puccini was destined to become Verdi's successor, and it was the greatest of honors. You see, Verdi, who died in 1901, just 1 year after Tosca's debut, had been arguably the greatest Italian composer of the 19th century. Puccini admired him very much, and in the first act of Tosca, he chose to pay him a little tribute. So he referenced one of his latest masterpieces, Otello, but the way he did it might just as well go unnoticed. When the cruel Baron Scarpia understands that the key to ignite Tosca's jealousy is the fan carelessly forgotten by Cavaradossi and Angelotti, he states to himself: "Per ridurre un geloso allo sbaraglio, Iago ebbe un fazzoletto ed io un ventaglio." To drive a jealous lover to distraction, Iago had a handkerchief, and I have a fan. This references Iago's spiteful plot to drive Otello to madness in Verdi's opera, of course derived from Shakespeare. As I mentioned, by the way, Tosca premiered on the 14th of January of the year 1900. Because of the Roman setting, the editor Ricordi insisted on staging the premiere at Teatro Costanzi in Rome. That's why the famous conductor Toscanini, who had a strict contract with La Scala in Milan, couldn't conduct the performance despite Puccini's insistence. Anyway, Rome was chosen for the premiere, but the atmosphere there couldn't be more tense. 1900 was the year of the first relevant jubilee in a Rome that had not yet settled after the unification of Italy. For this reason, political unrest and fears of anarchist bombings delayed the opening. The plot of the opera, which talked about the fight between the church and the revolutionaries, certainly didn't help. Despite the unease, the premiere was a huge success. 20 consecutive sold-out performances and a guaranteed place in the repertoire. And in 1992, almost 100 years after his debut, Tosca was part of something quite peculiar for an opera. It was broadcasted live as a real-time version. You see, not many operas have a reason to have a real-time version, but Tosca does. Indeed, the plot is set in 3 different places in Rome in the span of a single day. And we even have a date, the 17th of June of the year 1800. That's why they decided to make a televised live performance filmed on location, in the precise places in Rome and at the precise times of the day that correspond to each act of the story. The first act is set at noon in the church of Andrea della Valle. It's 12 o'clock and we know it from the ringing of the bells and the prayer of the sacristan, the Angelus, always recited at noon. The second act is set in Palazzo Farnese, where Scarpia resides as the chief officer of Roman police under the Pope's government. It is late evening. Dinner is served on Scarpia's table. The third act is instead set at dawn on the roof of the prison of Castel Sant'Angelo, and the exact time of the day is again revealed by the Roman bells. To achieve the incredibly realistic atmosphere of the opening of the third act of Tosca, Puccini even visited Castel Sant'Angelo. He needed to have a clear perception of how the bells of all of Rome's churches resonate at dawn. In the score, he recreated the same feeling, and he gifted us with a truly magical moment. He made us time travel to experience a Roman morning in the 1800s. We can even hear a young shepherd sing a stornello, a Roman folk song. Talking about realism, you should also know that the church of Andrea della Valle, where Angelotti hides has a real hidden place where he could have realistically stayed hidden. This is pure dedication. By the way, if you enjoy discovering new perspectives on operas and classical music, then make sure you subscribe to Opera Wonder, cause this is exactly the purpose of this channel. Now, there is something else that reveals Puccini's dedication, a hidden leitmotif that I noticed while playing Tosca on my piano. While Scarpia is waiting for Tosca at the beginning of the second act, he orders one of his servants to open the window so that the music that was being played on the floor below could be heard clearly. The musicists there were playing a gavotta, a form of dance music. This gavotta is referenced in Scarpia's own words and represents his joyful attitude in preparing his cruel trap for Tosca. Tosca is to be used by him just as the dinner that is being served to him and accompanied by that light-hearted music. But not everything goes to his plans. While he is writing the permit for Tosca, she notices right on the dinner table her way out of the situation, a shining knife. Now a dark melody appears in the strings, a melody that feels like destiny itself. When Scarpia is ready to take advantage of her, she stabs him in the chest, and when he is finally dead, she pronounces the words, "E avanti a lui tremava tutta Roma," and before him the whole city of Rome trembled. The melody that appeared when she noticed the knife becomes an astounding symphonic moment. What makes this moment even more powerful is that it is taken straight from Scarpia's gavotta. Scarpia's cruelty has turned against him. This is pure perfection. But if you want to know a different kind of musical perfection, then you should definitely take a look at this video here, and always keep exploring.